What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the
What up?
Wise Take NFL DFS Wise Stream. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. Joined once again by the GOAT, the true OG, known to many of you as Paulie D. You can find him on Twitter at Paulie with ADs. Paulie, what's happening?
What's happening, man?
Not much, man. You know, I'm coming off a week that was like, I didn't lose terribly, but didn't win, so it wasn't, you know. But you, my friend, you had a pretty good weekend. Pretty good weekend.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
It was real good. Didn't think it was gonna be good, end of the main slate, and it was like I was up 300, which I'll take. I was good there. But flash draft season, man, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, man. Shout out
That,
to
you
Paulie
know,
D, who is dominating these contests. And like you've been doing well in these contests. Obviously over the weekend, like you went a little higher, you invested a little bit more and got bigger returns. But you've been like winning money. Like even on weeks that you've had bad NFL weeks, you've like left Sunday Night Football, up and then continued to make that build up your bankroll for the next week through Thursday Night Football and all these doing not even the showdown with the flash drafts. And
yeah.
then you've been preaching it for a while in the Slack chat, which if you're not a member of the Slack chat, it means you're not a member of the nation. Certainly recommend go to wisetick.com, check us out. But you've been telling those guys in there about these things, and D Millie finally took you up on it. Shout out to D Millie, longtime White Stick Nation member, and Millie won himself what 800 something like that, 750.
Something like that, yeah, 750, and like he won a $5. He beat 400-man field,
Mm-hmm.
and won like I don't know what that one won. I think $500 or something. Like that's how fucking weak these fields are. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
In the Slack chat, Paulie's dropping the sauce. That's all I'm saying. So get into the Slack. Paulie will drop that sauce, Italian style, and make you some meatballs. You know what I mean? Some juicy meatballs. If you haven't already hit the like button, guys, please hit the like button. Really helps us out. Allows us to continue to do dirties on YouTube, on Twitch, on everything. So appreciate it if you guys just click on the button and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the free DFS content we do here. With that said, we are here tonight, Paulie, unfortunately, to talk about Monday Night Football game. And I say unfortunately because it's got to be one of the worst games that could possibly be created this season. What are your overall thoughts?
It is brutal, man. I mean, if you like your lineup today, you either got to get your head examined or you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, it's like if you like your lineup today, you're probably looking at the main slate. you need to go find the showdown section, and do it that way. No, I completely agree. And this is spoken as a Jet fan. I'm not wearing the Jet hat as any particular stand, guys. I always wear this when I talk about football because I'm a Jet fan. So riding dirty, man. Riding dirty tonight. Anytime you're riding with the Jets, you're riding dirty. But should be interesting to say the least. I know the Patriots are still dealing with some injuries. Like Gilmore's out. Obviously, they lost every receiver that they planned on using this season, going into the season. The Jets are missing Sam Darnold, so we're not just getting. It's not like we're just getting like healthy versions of two of the worst football teams that we've seen. We're just getting like two. Maybe I guess you can call them
Yeah.
worst versions of the worst football teams that you could really see. So. What are your overall thoughts, like as far as like approach? Like, are you looking more like a 5-1 situation? Are you looking more like just raw points, getting as many studs as you can? Like, if you want to call them studs, we call them studs because of their price, but you know what I mean.
I have no idea what you mean.
Expensive players, we'll say.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're playing the Patriots side, it's like Cam Newton in the captain slot or Damian Harris. Like realistically, like if it's any receivers, Cam will be involved in that, and it's likely Cam also runs and throws to other dudes and accumulates more points than those dudes. The only way it really don't happen through Cam is if it's Damian Harris on the ground. And I think the Jets are worse through the air than through the ground. So, like, I'm mainly just going with Cam and the captain if I'm using a Patriot.
Yeah, I agree.
Jets are expensive or just Patriots?
What's that?
Jet side too, or just Patriots?
Yeah, I mean, just go ahead. We might as well just go ahead and touch on 'em.
So Jet side, I mean, I think Crowder is the guy you want to go to. Every time he's been healthy, he's been heavily targeted. I think the Jets want to win. I think they're the motivated team here. I think they'd like to beat the Patriots and say, "Suck it, bitch," and then lose the rest of the games, rest of the
And
season.
get
So
Trevor Lawrence.
yeah, but I think they'd like to beat Belichick. So Monday night, all that. I think the Jets will show up today and be the motivated team on the field. So Jameson would be the guy. That's it though. Like I don't know who else you'd really want to look at. Those are like the two guys I'd use at captain. If you got any other ideas, hit me with them.
I don't. I have 3 teams, and I think I have 2 Newton captains and 1 Crowder. I think that's basically it. I'm with you. I mean, yeah, we can make an argument for certain players like Jacoby Myers, right? Like good matchup. Yeah, Jacoby Myers. Simply because in the last game he got 10 targets because there's nobody else for him to throw to. So you can make an argument for those kind of players. Matchup is fine, but I agree with you. I find it hard to believe that on the Patriots, if it's not Cam Newton or the running back, then who the fuck does it? It's got to be a Jet. And if it's gonna be a Jet, the only one I can really see it being is Crowder, just based off of volume. And I will say this about as far as the Jet side goes. This setup is kind of similar to a recent game we had, a showdown game, where one team was like really, they were expected to get blown out and their prices were really low. And we even talked about it. Mullins, it was the Niners, without Jimmy G and all that. And I remember it like the common build was loading up on the favorite, and you ended up needing a couple of those skill players. And then there were even, I think the winning lineup actually had Mullins in it, who only scored a 9. But the game was so ugly and ended up being close that you still needed to have players on both sides. So I can see that being, a situation like this with the Jets, who Joe Flacco is obviously washed and there's really nothing to say. But this is the first time that he's actually going to have some guys to throw to. In the past, he's played without Crowder, without Perriman. Denzel Mims wasn't ready. So in the past, he's really been throwing to no one. And while these players are certainly unproven, to say the least, I will say that I think this is probably the best cast that Flacco will have gotten a chance to play with so far this season. I think there was even one game, I think, where Flacco didn't even have Becton, who's been the one bright light in this Jets offense. Mekhi Becton's looked like a fucking beast on that offensive line. But I do agree with that. So we kind of already covered captains. For anyone that doesn't know, the total in this game is 42.5. The Jets are 9.5 point dogs. They were 10 most of the day. Looks like it dropped down to 9.5. So with that said,
hammer Jets.
I mean, I took the Jets at the 10. Like when I saw the 9.5, honestly, like I'm good, I'm content. But the 10 was just. You called this out from when it was 7. Before we knew Flacco was out. It was 7 before we knew Flacco was out. Money line. Oh, money line, getting dirty on him, man. That's dirty style. Is he Paulie D's telling y'all how to invest your flash draft money tonight?
Yeah.
Those are the new cash games. Tyrell Floyd in the chat says, stack the Jets for all the money. Speaking of the chat, let me give them some love and put this on the screen right quick.
Yeah.
Put them on
do that.
Put them on the
stack
screen.
The Jets for all the money. Just don't play a lot until we get to flash drafts.
Yes. Well, that's the ultimate strategy. I will say this: the Patriots have been. They've been banged up defensively. Gilmore's out. They're missing a linebacker. Whatever. They have been terrible against the run, bro. Like they've been getting.
They're just a horrible team right now.
Of course,
it's pathetic. The Patriots are the worst team in football right now.
No, the Jets are definitely the worst team in football. I mean, come on. This week things might. There you go, man. Not after they beat the Patriots today. But I will say this: the Patriots for like the last 3 games, I think it was, they've been getting slaughtered on the ground. Last week, Moss and Singletary both did dirties to him. I think Moss had the touchdowns, but Singletary was racking up yards too. Like they both did dirties. And then I think there was another game before that was just like, so they've been getting just destroyed. Where are you at with Gore and P-Line, son?
Yeah, I'm cool with P-Line. As you were rambling on there, I know that Perriman's back. Yeah. But what do you think about Denzel Mims as like if you're in some cheap shit, throw him in the captain. I mean, I just played like $200 kind of like single entry contest. I don't think I'll do it there, but you think they try to get this kid involved a lot, or you think because like Perriman shows up, they kind of spread the ball around and no one really eats enough for dinner?
I don't think Flacco has like all that. I don't know. I just don't. He's played with Perriman before in Baltimore, right? But I just don't know how much confidence he has. It's not like he targeted him back then either. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that they're gonna design plays to get Mims than Crowder the ball. Like Crowder, because if nothing else is open, he's gonna look for Crowder, and then Mims because he's young. You want to see what he got, man. Like go out there and have a veteran quarterback throw it to him. I like Mims better, but I think that they're cheap enough to where this game is ugly enough, and they're cheap enough to where you could play them all, and maybe they all go for 9 or 8, but that's the highest raw fucking scores that we have on this slate. That's definitely a possibility.
Anyway, getting to your P-Run question, like I'm all right with him. I do think the Patriots are terrible. I think you beat them through the ground, beat them through the air. I just expect it to happen more through the air because that's where the Jets have more talent. But I could be wrong.
I completely agree. I mean, they had Le'Veon Bell and they couldn't run the ball, so it's hard to imagine, with P. Ryan and Gore that they're going to be able to. It's just when you look at where the Patriots have really struggled, it's been the run. Even when they played the 49ers, they got absolutely like dollywop. But Jeff Wilson, 17 carries, 112 yards, 3 touchdowns. Hasty had 9 carries for 57 yards. This is two weeks in a row where they've been absolutely slaughtered on the ground. And so, like, I'm with you. It's easier for me to pull the trigger on Mims and Crowder and these guys. But when I look at the running backs, I have a hard time. And they are cheap. Like, P. Ryan, not that much. He's like 5,800. I understand it. But Gore is like fucking 2,800. And they're both getting double-digit touches in games where they're not getting slaughtered. Phillip Lindsay, 23 carries, 101 yards. Dirty. Dirty. So, I don't know, man. You interested in any of the defenses?
The Jets.
Just the 4K. Yeah, I can see it.
It's like, it's an abomination that the Patriots D is 7.4K. Like, what rock are they smoking? I just X'd that out. I was like, yeah, no thanks.
What rock are they smoking? I like that.
Their whole D is injured. It's like, they're going to get trounced today.
I don't know, man. It's hard. I mean, listen, I bet the Jets plus the 10. So, like, I put my money. But it's hard for me to imagine the Jets trouncing anyone. Like, they're fucking terrible. It's one thing if you got Sam in there, Sam I am. But Mr. Joe Cool, but he's a little too cool, I think, in these situations. I don't think we need nobody that's cool right now. We need somebody who's going to go out there and make some plays. As Wise Take Nation legend once said. The legend. The legend. Stephen B says this game is lacking talent. Yes, sir. I'd say so. I would say so. Marty S says Cam is going down like Brady did last night. Damn, son.
Brady did go down last night.
Banks Larry 62 says I bet the Jets. Man, we got a lot of Jets love in here, man. We got a lot of the Jets are like the Jets are like this year in this particular season. The Jets are like the non-hardcore Jet fans, because obviously hardcore Jet fans do what they do, but the the guys that kind of like the Jets, they're like the Trump supporters, right? Like you don't know they exist, and then when one says like, you know what, I like this guy, then you start hearing like 5 or 6 more pop up, like, yeah, you know what, me too. I just didn't want to say anything to cause any problems. That's what the Jets are, That's what I'm a Jet fan too. I just, I think they might win too. I just wasn't gonna say nothing because if somebody were to bet money on them and lose, I would feel terrible. But it's just like,
right.
That's what they are, bro.
Awesemo actually had a really funny tweet today. He goes, Bill Belichick is known for shutting down the opposing team's best weapon. So you may want to fade the Jets.
He's not wrong, bro. He's not wrong. Oh. Oh God. That's okay. Who is the break beats 27? Who is the catching back for the Jets?
The catching back? Jets?
Yeah. P. Ryan. P. Ryan. Yeah. But I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't throw to the running backs a lot. Adam Gase has this whole thing set up. He likes to drill the slot. He likes to throw somewhere. But
Yeah.
if they utilized pass catching running backs, then Le'Veon Bell probably would have had more play when he was here. But no, did not happen.
All right, so we got one of the two dudes in the captain, Newton Crowder. I think if you're building like 20 max kind of deal, I think you could include P. Ryan, Damian Harris, and Denzel Mims into that player pool as well. But for the most part, you got Newton Crowder, and I think you're just putting them in all your lineups, Newton and Crowder. I don't think you make a lineup without them. How we feeling in the rest of this bitch?
Man, do it. Like, I'll play some Jacoby Myers with Cam. Oh, matter of fact, I will. Tom, I think is it Tom Izzo. Is that his name? It's something Izzo. Nah, maybe it's not Tom. Ryan Izzo. Ryan Izzo. So Ryan Izzo is 1,400 on DraftKings, and I think he's the only actual tight end available.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can dig him for some value. 1,400. You just need,
Okay.
need one touchdown.
How about the Jets tight end Herndon? Any interest in that one or not so much?
No, I think I'd rather just go with the other guy because you know what it is. Because I like the receiver option better for the Jets. Like I like Perriman more than I like fucking the next guy than Bird. 6'8" for Bird. For what? He's gonna get the same amount of targets as Perriman most likely. If that. Myers is the one guy that's like, okay, he might get some targets. You know what I'm saying? Like he might get some action.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
How about James White, Rex Burkhead? Any interest in them too?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, White really only in a situation if you think New England's trailing, right? Like if they're trailing,
they are
in that build, then I think so. But with all three of these guys healthy, it's hard to make a stand on any of them.
Yeah, I know. I think Rex Burkhead gets involved. I think as like the Patriots lose interest, they kind of just let him do things. It's like, oh, we're down by 15 in the fourth, and we're not coming back. Let Rex run out the game, or like let's throw a couple screens to Rex. So I like Rex Burkhead as a cheap option.
It does make sense, especially considering Harris is dealing with an injury. So if the game gets ugly one way or another, I would imagine they'd be cautious with him. Stephen B makes an interesting point. Just want to address it. Stephen B says Brian Billick once said that every team tries to shut down the opponent's best weapon, not just the Patriots. That is true. Every team tries. What Belichick has a knack for, and I don't think that's a legit thing this season. I don't think he has the way to stop it. But what he's been successful at in the past is being successful at that. Every team tries, right? But you still see certain players do the dirt. Like Detroit was game planning for Dalvin Cook. You better believe they were game planning for Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin Cook still ripped through that ass. So that's the difference between everybody tries. You're right, 100% right, Steven. Everybody tries to do it. Very few teams are successful at doing it.
Right. Like the Bills, they was trying to shut down DK Metcalf.
Yeah,
he still did that.
He did dirty asses all day, and it is what it is. I mean, the Seattle tried so hard to focus on Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs still got to 100 yards. And then they got just like destroyed by everyone else. It's just like everyone else on the fucking team. That shit happens all day. But all right, so at this point, you already know. I mean, are there any other like guys out there? Like, there's one other guy. If you were playing like mass multi-entry and you're desperate, and the only reason I'm even saying this guy's name, I don't know nothing about him. I don't know where he comes from, but this Gunnar Olszewski guy, right? He played 60-something% of the snaps last week. That's it. That's all I got. Yeah. That's all I got. I don't got no one else. It's like these players that we're spending a lot of money for, they should be value plays. Like they should be the value plays.
Yeah, but they had to increase.
They had to.
Like Dan Bird at 6'8". He's a 3K player at best.
And you're paying 6'8" for him today. Jacoby Meyer paying 9K. It is what it is. It's the world we live in.
It is.
It's the world we live in.
So, if you're stacking, I think you stack the Jets side, 5-1, 4-2. But realistically, I think we see scoring from both sides with just the Jets kind of running away, like a 24-14, a 27-10, something like that. That's what I envision. I think the Jets move the ball well. I think the Patriots are just sunk, and for the one time all year, the Jets are going to be the better team on the field.
Wow, you just got my hopes up. I'm gonna be crushed now. I went into this night like, yo, it's the Jets, so it is what it is. I'll take the points because it's the points, it's its value, but it is what it is. Now if they lose, I'm gonna be crushed. I'm gonna be like, no, I really thought they were gonna win. But I don't disagree that there's some issues. Did you hear about the Jets thing? The Jets ain't too happy right now either. Did you hear about what happened over there in Jetstown? They
No.
discovered that MetLife Stadium has a camera, or no, I'm sorry, not MetLife Stadium. The Jets facility in Florham Park has cameras in a locker room, and the players found out about this shit. Took it to the NFLPA. They're pissed because motherfuckers were probably like, I mean, it's not like no dirty camera, like some secret stuff. This is like from the facility. They did it on purpose so they could watch for theft and all this. But really, they're just taking peeks, man. They're just peeking out. Like they have a whole different kind of roster than we do. They have a whole different kind of rating system than we do. They got dick sizes over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all on a different level. Yep. So they don't feel so comfortable right now, and I understand that, man. I understand it. But so yeah, just the two teams in the worst possible state you can have them. And Belichick dimed out his whole team and said, "What do you expect? We got no money. Look what we're throwing out there." Like he basically went out there and said, "What do you expect? We're the Jets right now. What do you expect?" That's basically what he went out there and said. But anyway, with that said, I mean, you guys know what it is. You heard Paulie. I'm with you. Like as far as betting goes, we're taking the points. What about the over/under 42.5? You got to lean that way. Under, yeah. I mean, I would lean towards the under too. A little worried that the books, like everybody seems trending that way, and the total's going up. But I just can't. I just can't see. I have to go under also, under dirty style. I'm with you on that. But that's gonna do it in that sense. Any closing thoughts on this?
Flash drafts starting in the second quarter. You see what's happening. You try to figure out who's going to get the ball at the beginning of that half, that quarter, whatever the time period is. That's usually the advantage. All right, Patriots have it. And you can do the flash drafts at any point throughout the quarter, right? So, like, you don't do them at the beginning. You wait pretty close to the end, 4 minutes left, hop in one, hop in two, hop in three, whatever, as many as you want to do, and start to plan for, like, all right, Patriots got the ball. They're going to run 3 shitty plays and punt. Jets should be getting this thing to start the second quarter. I'm going to play some Jet guys, and stack, correlate. Don't play guys that are not in the game because people do that.
They do. Of course, if you're a member of the White State Nation, you can hit up Paulie D in the Slack chat. He can kind of go over the basics of the flash draft with you. We got one question from Artful Dodger I want to answer here. Harris or Crowder? Harris or Crowder. He says Chowder. I'm pretty sure he means Crowder.
Yeah, I'd play both of them, but I like Crowder a little bit more.
Yeah, I like Crowder also. Like, listen, the Jets are not some good defense by any metric, but they are worse against the pass. That's just true. I know that they've given up a lot of big running fantasy scores. A lot of that has to do with their defense constantly putting them. Their offense constantly putting them in bad positions. Most of that is that. That's what that is. And eventually, you keep drilling. You give somebody 50 rushing attempts. Yeah, they're going to score a touchdown and break one eventually. Especially after being exhausted. Stephen B. One last question from Stephen B. Kickers. Do you prefer one over the other?
The Jets kicker, but I like them both, and I can put both into a lineup. I don't think there's a ton of touchdowns. I think it's mostly field goals. So
Nick Folk Revenge. I think he's on the Patriots. Just throwing that out there. Will Brown asked about Berrios. I'm concerned that the Jets are too healthy. He's going to fall back in the depth chart. But it's a 1-game slate. You can try it. But yeah, with Berrios has always had, like, I know lately it seems like he's always getting targets because there's always somebody out. Then nobody's out. Perriman's in. Crowder's in. Mims is finally fucking here. Like, this is what the Jets are supposed to look like.
Yep.
Artful Dodger says, I was leaning towards Chowder, so that's just what we're calling him. I'm with it. I got no problems with it. Stephen B says should be a kicker's game. I think Paulie agrees. And we're going to get the fuck up out of here. Yep. Paulie D for myself, the entire Wise Take Nation. First look show tomorrow night. Me and Patio Joe, I think. I'll confirm that. Paulie, don't make plans just in case. And as always, good luck.
Peace.